Aren't we just getting tired of zombies in general? I mean, I'm not saying...
Yes and no. I hate zombie films, and I think I've stated this before. I have hated zombie films.
George A. Romero.
Fucking hate them. And the reason for this being is because they're the same plot line every fucking time. Group of people trapped in... Well, I don't give a shit where it is, basically. It could be a swimming pool for all I fucking care. It's one singular place, and they have to survive. What I liked about Walking Dead, what I liked about Zombieland, they took you to different locations. They brought in more characterization. We get to know the people better.
But if you think about it, the original Dawn of the Dead was actually a very good character piece, and a lot of it was based around... It was about the characters.
And there was some comedy moments, but the general concept of the zombie genre has always been a group of people trapped somewhere and they have to survive. Majority of them die. End.
My thoughts are, I was being sort of more specific about the kind of wave of zombie,
the slow. You know, I don't want to say some of the words that I actually want to use.
No,
you're more than welcome to.
I meant with the sort of the more contemporary. I guess did it start with Walking Dead? Well, I don't know where, but there is definitely a zombie-naissance going on.
No, there was some films that were... It was like Zombieland the film came out before that. Romero did another one with Diary of the Dead. It was all around about that time, wasn't it?
I mean, I would say Romero kind of sits. He's been doing it for long enough.
Well, he's the king of zombie.
Yeah. And I'm not saying that I want Walking Dead. I just feel like sort of in the wake of briefly after Twilight, there was a lot of vampirism. Now some of it was good. Like some of the stuff that came out in the wake of Twilight. I'm sure that one of the reasons that True Blood got the green light was probably because in the cinemas was this, or same with whatever, Vampire Diaries or whatever. Regardless of where, I'm sure there was at the same time there was all this stuff going on. I'm not talking about specific qualities. Like I know, and there was Warm Bodies out recently. I'm just saying that it's getting a little bit taxing. Like I was reading Total Film, Paddy, the guy who plays Paddy from Emmerdale in his spare time, has made a UK zombie film. It's like how much, it's like, and the number of people that, especially like the number of line of work, the number of people that you run into, I'm an amateur filmmaker, I'm trying to raise money, doing a Kickstarter for trying to make my zombie film.
But this is the thing where you're mistaking because I don't think that they should stop making things to do with zombies, but where the quality comes in. So with me, I'm very picky over what I like and what I dislike about zombie films. I do like George A. Romero, I know Scott doesn't. I did like Zombieland the film. Not sure about the TV series. I love Walking Dead. I think it's an amazing series. Shaun of the Dead was a really good spoof. But would I then go out and watch a load of shite that's being produced independently? Not really sure, not really that arsed. Don't know. It's a bit like the vampire thing. Yes, I really enjoyed certain parts about it. Do we enjoy Twilight? No, I don't. I think it's crap. But it's that thing. I mean, whereas the Vampire Diaries was all right. Yeah. Okay, True Blood. It had its moments of glory, moments of shyness, but it was okay. And I've got that choice over the things that I want to watch and don't want to watch. So if there's about 50 zombie films out there and 5 of them perk me interest, I'll be interested in watching 5, but I'll just completely push away the other 45. So that's my thing. So no, I don't think they should stop making zombie things. But at the same time, I will choose my own things on what I want to watch and don't watch.
But just because I mentioned them in the context of talking about trends in film, you don't need to say Twilight. Yes, you've nailed your flag to the mast. We know how you feel about
this. This is where I want to bring my little 2 pennies worth into Twilight. Have I ever told you about Spocalypse? Basically, my own version of the sign of the apocalypse. I've been trying to get followers for many years. Basically, I've been going
live long and blow up.
And my first sign of the Spocalypse is the sign of basically we've got Twilight, Team Jacob, Team Edward. Jedward. Then we've got X Factor with Irish double duo twins that should be fucking dead. Jedward. That is the first sign of the Spocalypse. The second sign is Lindsay Lohan will win an Academy Award. And when that happens, we know we're in the shitter.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the Spocalypse.
Oh,
Moving on.
moving on. We watched it before. It was the trailer for the new Star Trek video game. Rather bloody funny. William Shatner versus the Gorn, the remake. I just thought it was funny that they were both fucks and
Yeah.
old, and they're in between each blow. They had to start from, oh, just wait a minute. Yeah, just tired. Yeah, if anyone wants to check it out online, basically go onto YouTube and just type in Kurt Gorn Star Trek video game, and they'll get the trailer. But it is quite funny. Whether is it an official trailer? That's the thing. I'm not really sure. It looked it, but was it an official one? Or was it?
It looked like it, yeah.
Yeah, it was funny though, wasn't it? That was a resounding no, I think.
Yeah, it was funny. No, I was just going to ask, like, where do you think Star Trek's ready to come back to television, Scott?
No. Oh God.
I was
And the new Scott.
Yeah. with the new films as they are, and if they were to bring on something that if I see fucking Deep Space Nine, I've seen a few episodes with Jeffrey Combs in it just recently. My next door neighbours watching it, and I just thought, fucking hell, this is cheap sets, cheap costumes.
You don't like Deep Space Nine?
No. I hate Star Trek in
Scott
general.
has got the complete Charmed on DVD, and he's moaning about
Charmed is awesome. Who wants nothing more than 3 fit witches to watch? You know, you've got you've got a couple of blokes, you know, a few female aliens, and you've got nothing really.
Deep Space Nine had some corkers,
and
didn't it?
Had a pretty decent budget.
Yeah, Chase Masterson, and Jadzia Dax, and Terry Farrell. There you go.
Nana Visitor.
But if it was into the standard of the film, basically, and they were to bring something that I could truly watch, that was maybe a spin-off of these new films,
yeah,
I'd say yes. But as for if they were to bring back another Deep Space Nine where it's like a soap opera in space, no.
I think there is sort of a resounding. I mean, you can't really get it so much with the films because they're these big events and they're on the cinema screen. I think there is something missing perhaps in contemporary science fiction television apart from maybe Doctor Who. I think things, there are fads and things come back in trend, and I think maybe in the next 2 or 3 years the kind of optimism of Star Trek will offer a nice antidote to some of the bleaker, darker things. I think we've had the sort of wave of Battlestar Galactica. I think maybe now it's time to come back into the light and go for a little bit more hopeful and optimistic.
I was thinking even longer. I was thinking give it another 10 years. But I mean, I want one to come back.
Yeah.
I do want another Star Trek series to come back, but I don't want one so soon. I just think it's too early. Myself.
Right. Well, I mean, we'll be coming up to 10 years since Enterprise was cancelled next year, and I think perhaps it might be a good time to do something with it. I wouldn't necessarily. I mean, I don't know whether J.J. Abrams would. Oh yeah, his production company would be involved, but something in the wake of that, which goes off into a new direction and explores something that is an area of the Star Trek universe that hasn't been explored before and is accessible to everybody, but you know has the familiar tropes of transporter beams, etc. and stuff enough to make it Star Trek. If it was up to me, I'd give it to Brian Fuller, who was a big Trek fan. One of his first gigs was writing on Voyager, and then he went on to do the brilliant Pushing Daisies, and I think he'd have a really interesting voice.
Well, it's certainly got to be better than Voyager anyway.
What we got next, though, is...
we've actually got a bit of news. Harrison Ford has definitely signed up for J.J. Abrams'
I thought you were actually going to tell me that Harrison Ford was dead then.
yeah. No, he's actually signed up. He signed up for new Star Wars. Harrison Ford has signed up.
I already knew about that anyways.
Oh, bugger. So it's not that much news then.
It's news for these guys.
Well, I don't know because they may be you.
I'm going to steal a bit now off another podcast, off a Kevin Smith podcast, but he's popular enough that I think we can get away with it.
Yeah, because no one listens to us.
Yeah, because no one listens to us. But actually, we've got Harrison Ford sitting with us now, and he's going to give us a bit of an interview and tell us his feelings. So, Harrison, what finally convinced you to go back to the Star Wars franchise? Really, Harrison? That's quite interesting. She said, what? It was how big? Oh. Thank you. Has no one ever seen Harrison Ford? He mumbles all the time in interviews. It's like
I've seen Harrison Ford quite a bit.
He's fond of the whatever. He mumbles all the time in
Got
interviews.
his address.
yeah,
Oh, what am I talking about? He's sat with us right now.
Yeah,
isn't
yeah,
he?
yeah.
yes, yes. Harrison.
I can't
Harrison.
believe no one's seen
Give us a
him.
split.
I just can't believe no one's seen him interviewed. He mumbles his belly. The penitent man, the penitent man.
One of those little
yeah.
Temple of Doom reference.
The
Temple of Doom
Temple of the Bong!
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I'm thinking of Cypress Hill.
Yeah, but when you make Star Wars, you've got to get high.
Yeah.
You know, you sit in that, little... You literally sat there watching a blue screen. And it's like, wow. And then all of a sudden it comes before you.
Yeah. So as a Trekker who doesn't like Star Wars at all, I feel like I got dumped recently. Because I feel like I've been dumped for a sluttier woman who fucks out.
The thing is, though, and it is the funniest thing, is J.J. Abrams is actually a bigger Star Wars fan than he is a Star Trek
Fair enough,
fan.
but I think you signed to Star Trek and you set something up, and I just think he's not going to have time now to work on both, no matter what he says. And I'm just sort of a little bit disappointed that I know what he said about Star Wars, and that was his first thing. But he committed to Star Trek, and I just feel it's a shame. Like, it's wonderful for Star Wars fans, and I think he'll do a really good job of striking the balance between something that will please the nerds, and also being able to sell toys to the kids. And I think he'll do it much better than Lucas did with the last trilogy. But from a Star Trek fan's point of view, who actually liked the J.J. Abrams movie, and I'm really excited about the new one, I just don't see any plus side whatsoever.
See, I must be one of the only persons in existence who's actually a Trek and Wars fan. At the same time, in the same existence, in the same body.
So as an alternative, give it to Bryan Singer. Bryan Singer can do the next track. So there you go.
All I got from everything he just said there was just basically me envisioning basically Phil on his knees, J.J. Abrams in front of him, basically like viewers basically imagine me holding like a 10-inch cock in my hand, basically and then basically all of a sudden basically after he spunks on his face, he's like, see you later, and then fucks off to the next dude. That's how basically what you just said there. You feel like you've just been treated. You just sucked him off. He spat in your face and then just said fuck off.
I'm there, and I'm there in my short Lieutenant Uhura dress, and then he goes.
Is that your next cosplay, by the way?
And then he goes and bangs the girl in a metal bikini. Fuck that guy.
Yeah.
How could you, prick?
I really tried talking the missus into wearing the Princess Leia buns.
Is this a story we really want to be hearing?
Well, it is because she nearly fucking hit me.
Good.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know. Right, moving on.
Well,
Shall we move on?
Yeah.
Have you got anything, Scott? Sorry, because I've got plenty still.
You've got plenty.
I've got-
Well, Phil, have you got anything next? Anything new?
No.
Right,
Well,
okay.
well, let's.
At the moment, one of the big ones that I started watching recently was the following: Kevin Bacon, Natalie Zia, Sean Ashmore, James Purefoy, who is
I've been
for.
meaning to look into it because of Kevin Bacon. I do like
Really
it.
good. There's, I've got up to about episode 5 or episode 6 so far, and it can be a little bit tedious in some episodes, but dramatic content, fantastic, and it's the linear story behind it that I think is brilliant. A brilliant and charismatic yet psychotic serial killer communicates with other active serial killers and activates a cult of believers following his every command. So far, this is basically what will probably end up being the story behind Cult, but the following itself, though, Kevin Bacon coming back, and the role itself, I think he plays is fantastic. Looking back to The Woodsman, which I know was a daring, risky move to do, and wasn't too sure where it was going to go anywhere. But again, another role that has kind of stripped him away from the crap that he has been in.
Yeah. See, I've always loved Kevin Bacon actually because I always remember him back in Tremors. I think Tremors is one of my all-time favourite classic cult films. And I've seen a lot of stuff with Kevin Bacon, and I've enjoyed everything, including Hollow Man. I know a lot of people didn't really like it, but I did enjoy it. And I think I'll check this one out, the following. It sounds interesting.
Can I just say something?
Yes.
Is Hollow Man a superhero?
No.
No. But that orange advert that's on at the cinema at the moment implies, it says, it implies that let's go for some superhero action, and Hollow Man says it, and it implies that Hollow Man is a superhero. He's not.
No.
There,
So the Invisible Man was in the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
Yeah, but that wasn't Kevin Bacon, was it?
No, that was Alan Moore and Kevin Smith.
So there we go.
Yes. Oh, a little bit of news for people. There is a Godzilla remake out from the original Japanese one.
We're talking about the Matthew Broderick doesn't count, does it?
Well, apparently the star of the original film, who actually still looks fucking young, considering he was the star in the 1954 classic, appeared on set of the Godzilla reboot. And the bit that interests me is they've not released any information about the cast at the moment, or as far as I know, they haven't released any information of the cast. And I'm still not sure if this guy maybe will appear in the film. It's Akira Takarada, who was in the original.
I don't recognise that name.
Yeah, he was in the original Godzilla film. Yeah, he was the original main star, and I'm hoping that he plays a cameo in this Godzilla remake. I really do. But he appeared on set recently. Why we can't find much about it? It's really difficult. I have done a bit of a search and I can't find anything about casting yet at the moment. So I don't know, unless someone a bit more internet savvy than me can find out a little bit more. But
I've been able to find nothing so far.
Exactly, that's what I did. I tried searching. The only thing that I've found is the guy who's directing it. I can't think of his fucking name. But anyway, the original star has appeared on the set and give it his blessing and stuff like that. So that's really cool. So I'm looking forward to it, because if it's a good remake, because I did enjoy the original Godzilla, try finding it on DVD. You'll be sorely disappointed. It's really hard to find, but it's it is a belting film. We have seen it.
So, is it time to talk about Doctor Who?
Not yet.
All right, fair enough.
No, it's not time.
But I have got bits on Doctor Who. Not yet.
All right, fair enough.
Right, new film coming out called The Conjuring. Anyone heard of it? Interested? Asked. It's a new supernatural horror film by James Wan.
Spell it.
Are you Wan? The Conjuring. Conjuring.
Alright, it's just the way you say it. That's
It's basically about paranormal investigators who come to the assistance of the Perron family. This is based on a true story, apparently.
No, it's
Who were
always based on a true
experiencing
story.
increasingly disturbing events in the Rhode Island farmhouse. Hang on, Rhode Island, that's Ghost Hunters, isn't it? Ghost Hunters are based in Rhode Island. But anyway, it looks interesting, but considering the recent horror shite that's been out, is it really going to be that good?
Really
the poster looks amazing. And
yeah, I'm just reading this now, and I'm looking at it, and I'm sick and tired. Basically, it's like the exorcism of Emily Rose, the Exorcist, the beginning. You know, all these stories based on true facts, basically. And you're like, where are your facts again? Oh, we saw it. Where's your video evidence? Where's this ectoplasm that you keep talking about? And it's this great thing, basically. Stories are great, basically. People say, yes, we have been possessed. No, it's your house shifting, dickhead. No, but I'm telling you, basically, everything flew off the fucking walls. Yeah, and you see
it was an earthquake.
You see that big fucking crack there? That's from the earthquake.
Well, I think this film, the way that it differs to what I've seen before, is it's a team of paranormal investigators going in and trying to solve it. And that's what makes me interested, because I do like some of the
that is
TV
a little bit
series,
different,
like
but then you're down the Blair Witch Project, but they're on a better budget.
Yeah, I'm just hoping the acting in it isn't shy, because that puts me off.
There is nothing more than what I can say, because I'm a big skeptic. Grew up in a big family. Who were big believers. I used to watch Most Haunted going, oh, did you see that? The crucifix move. And no. I was basically brought up and basically had this hammered into me, and the more I grew up and the more I started noticing scientific probabilities of how these things could be explained. I was
like the crew member in the back tossing a stone over and going, oh, it's a ghost. Yeah.
Shit like that, basically. It all boils down to something that you can explain through science, and I'm sorry, people, if there is a few of you out there watching it who believe in the spiritual world, stay with them, because I'll let you have them. That's it. End of.
Has anyone heard about Compliance, the it was a film, 2012 thriller, but it's only just getting a UK release now. And it's not actually sci-fi, but it's a thriller, so it's in our wheelhouse really. And it focuses on a prank caller who pretends to be a police officer and convinces the manager of a fast food restaurant that one of her employees committed a crime. And it basically it's one of these that it looks into the psychology of power. Basically, the con artist on the phone gives her power. Says right, well the police were coming, but in the meantime we need you to lock this thief, in the office, and it pushes her to the edge to the point where this girl, because she's been deputised apparently in air quotes by this police officer. By the end of it, she's like looking to kill this person, and it's been gaining a lot of controversy. It's based on true events, but not events that happen to one person. It's like a collection that have all been put together in one film, and it's been getting a lot of a flack from certain rights because of its depiction of women, and how it seems to be suggesting that women might be more susceptible, and it's been making a lot of noise.
Oh wow, yeah, and if you stick a male in the main role instead and change it to that, there wouldn't be complaints about that, would there?
Yeah,
Fucking
but on
feminists.
the other hand, it's also that's I'd just like to say that Scott's views do not represent the views of
It's not like I'm in one of these, basically a woman's place is behind the stove. I don't believe in that stuff, but basically it's like political correctness. How far must it go before someone says, wait a second, you've taken it one step too fucking far?
And nowadays you can't even stand on a ladder. It's like political correctness gone mad. Oh no, wait, that's health and safety gone mad. Which one's political correct?
Blackboard, you can't call it a blackboard, you gotta call it a chalkboard. Seriously.
Bloody hell, there's a hole.
The thing is though, it's now a whiteboard, isn't it? So I mean, how far's like
yeah.
Pen board. It's a pen board and a chalkboard. How difficult is it?
And it isn't Bar Black Sheep anymore. I've got a few friends who work in nursery and they've got to call it everything but fucking Black Sheep.
Is it because I is pink?
Possibly. Who knows,
Yeah.
Some guy going out into a field and decides to spray paint it a different colour, We'll call it, Bar Green Sheep.
Well, if it was a pink sheep, then surely that means it's been shorn already.
No, that's a pink cross.
Right. No, if it's been shaved, or is it? Oh, what is it? When a sheep's shorn, is it black under the wall?
No, it's grey.
Grey. Yeah, right.
Grey with a day glow cross on it.
Bar black sheep. Have you any? No.
Right. So compliance. Yeah. Yeah. That sounds pretty good. That film. I like the look of that. 6.5 mediocre rating.
Well, fair enough.
Right. What have we got next?
Pacific Rimming.
I was going to say, anything below 5 is when you don't want to be watching it. Anything above 5 is mediocre. Anything above 7, we're talking
about IMDb.
IMDb, yeah.
Yeah, we were on about Pacific Rimming.
Right.
Oh, Pacific Rimming, yes.
We've now got release date 12th of July. We didn't have a release date last time, you see, because it kept getting pushed back and pushed back and pushed back. For people who don't know, it's the new Del Toro film about the giant kaiju and the giant piloted mech, which basically sounds like a cross between Evangelion, Gundam, and Godzilla, which is fucking good. And I like Del Toro anyway. But anyway, yeah, Pacific Rim is out on the 12th of
with
July.
Idris Elba, and also looking like it's pretty much on the slate for Warner Brothers and might get into production, which is nuts than the actual Justice League, is Del Toro's Dark Justice League, which is going to use characters like Swamp Thing and John Constantine, and more off the beaten track DC characters, which sounds right in Del Toro's wheelhouse. I mean, he is the man that gave us Hellboy and Hellboy 2. So
I'll give you a quick rant. Transformers 4: The Yawning.
Oh god.
Is that what you decided to call it? Or
That's what
Transformers.
That's what I'm calling it. It's basically, but I mean, can you believe it? They're not using any of the robots from the original thing. There's no Optimus Prime. There's no Megatron. There's no Starscream. There's no one. They're using new fucking robots.
And then we're bringing in Mark Wahlberg also to top it off. As
Marky
well.
Mark.
Oh, Marky Mark.
Now I'm gonna watch it.
I mean, should they just give it a rest or don't bother or what?
Michael Bay should just
why?
find a new career if he keeps making these.
So basically, I mean, the tagline Transformers the Yawning, I think that's what it should be called, how it should be, and that's it.
What with Deceptitron and Dilron and...
Now you're just making sounds. This means nothing.
No, these are the names of the robots. You got Dilron.
Dildo-ron.
Yeah, Dildo-ron, basically a big statue motherfucker that looks just basically like a cock. We've already had the ball bag, let's have the cock now. That just comes across as gay.
Thing is, though, I don't want to know if the Autobot's called Shaft. Hey, I tell you what, Phil. If you really want to, we can move on to Doctor Who.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, but I can't be bothered pulling it up because
You
it'll mess it.
I'll mess it up.
I don't know why I bother.
Right.
I was
very
just
messy.
gonna to add to my hatred of Michael Bay. He's still going ahead with this Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles thing. I don't think he's directing it. He might be directing it. He might be producing it. They're going to screw it up. Megan Fox, because she's realised.
Well, I'd love to screw up Megan Fox, but
She's realised that Michael Bay is one of the most powerful people in Hollywood, and it doesn't really pay to piss him off. So she's apologised. And or whatever, they patched things up, and she's going to be playing April O'Neil in Teenage Mutant Ninja.
see, no, I think she should play Splinter.
As much as I would like to see, it was the early 90s, the classic one.
Yeah.
I want to see that again. I really do. But I was reading up on it, and they're doing the exact same thing that they did with Gollum. If they do the graphics really well, it might come out really brilliant. But knowing Michael Bay, the cheap fucker that he is, it is good as the Transformers look with the turtles.
Why not get the Hensons in to do it? That
Oh,
would be
yeah,
fun.
that'd be
That's
good.
what I want to see. Bodysuits again.
Yeah.
Because it looked good for.
Do you know what? I used
for
to play.
its time.
I used to play the role playing game by Palladium role playing books. They still do Palladium. I mean, it's still going on, but they did a series of TMNT role play games. It was actually really good.
Cartoon or the
No,
comics?
it was a role playing game.
Yeah, I know, but what was the design? What were the pictures? Were
It was based on the original comic books,
Right.
actually, the designs, yeah. I played some big fuck off giant rhinoceros guy that was hard as nails.
Oh, yeah, would that be Bebop or Rocksteady or something like
Yeah,
that?
something like that. But anyway, yeah.
So, Doctor Who.
Ooh, Zygons.
Yeah.
I have
The
no
new-
idea
new
what you're
design
talking about, 'cause I
looks
still haven't watched this
fucking
episode yet.
amazing.
No, you won't have seen it. This is for the 50th anniversary. There's a villain from the 70s. You paying attention?
I am. I'm
Called the Zygons. There was
Zygons.
one story that
Terror
they
of the
featured
Zygons.
at any number of. There's been loads.
There's
of
loads of
appearances,
audio and books.
audios, even, and they've revived them in books, but they've never appeared on screen.
Well, they were supposed to have appeared on screen. Supposed to in the Pandorica Opens.
Yeah.
I looked. I couldn't see them.
And there was
Apparently they were there.
And they were referenced in that one with the spheres.
Yeah.
The slow invasion. I
Yeah,
forget what
slow
it was
invasion.
called.
Because they were in under
Power
was
of
it
Three.
St Paul's or
Yeah.
Power of Three, Charmed.
Power. Yeah.
Back
to the sexy.
They were
witches.
basically they were under something
Yeah.
from 1890 or something.
Yeah,
like
I know
that.
which episode you're on about.
Yeah.
Anyway, they've been announced as they've been redesigned and they've been announced as the villain in the 50th anniversary. But whether that means that they're actually going to be the main thrust of the story, or whether it could literally be that is the adventure that they're involved in before they get pulled out of time.
Right.
Because the big casting news, which was on Saturday, due to certain subscribers of Doctor Who magazine received their copy early. It was only out today, Thursday, the 4th of April. But certain subscribers, because of the bank holiday weekend, they posted them out early. They arrived on Saturday, and so the BBC had to announce early that David Tennant and Billy Piper will be returning to Doctor Who. I think they're both great, and I'm excited about that. However, I do think that is the most predictable of I think it was a foregone conclusion that David Tennant, because he was a fan, he was the last Doctor, he was up for doing it. He'd been talking about it even when he left. He said, "I'd definitely be up for the 50th anniversary." I'm not surprised by it. I want to be blown away by something like them finding a way to seduce Mr. Eccleston back. I'd like to see the past Doctors feature in some capacity. And of course, what I really want more than anything, and a lot of fans want, is Paul McGann. But I don't think it's going to happen.
Oh.
And then we just had the first episode of the new series, which was called The Bells of St. John. It was fine, enjoyable. I know some kids who found it, and their kids lapped it all up. So I suppose it did its job. But I thought it was kind of similar to Partners in Crime, which was an episode Russell did.
Just one of the phrases I never thought I'd hear Phil say, the kids lapped it up.
Oh, for God's sake! No. Must we go there?
You said lapped it up, so...
Yes!
You know,
They enjoyed the adventure that was unfolding on the televisual screen before them. What's rude about...
No, it was before you got to the television screen.
Do I have to preface everything with, like, start with a lead?
Right, so where are we going with Doctor Who anyways?
Oh yeah, quickly, Well, we're moving on. Bells of St. John. Did anyone watch it?
Yeah, hang on a minute, I've just said that.
What?
I just went on a whole rant about how Saturday's episode was pretty much a knockoff of Partners in Crime.
All I remember hearing you was saying about kids lapping it up.
There we go, and that was why I got into the trouble, because I said kids enjoyed The Bells of St. John, which was the name of the Doctor Who episode, which was on television.
I didn't enjoy it that much. It was okay.
Did anybody basically do like a not Nostradamus, but the Hunchback of Notre Dame? The bells, the bells of St. John.
They make me there.
I'm going to introduce you to a term that is used quite a bit in Doctor Who fandom, or at least by me and my friends.
For the Whovians.
Yeah, for the Whovians. There was in the 80s. There was a Victoria Wood sketch that was taking the mick out of Doctor Who, and the villain. It got Jim Broadbent in it actually, and the villains in it were called, oh no, not the Ming Mongs.
The Ming Mongs.
Well, Russell T Davies, perhaps as a riposte, there is a certain type of fan that complains a lot about everything and wants the Earth and wants loads of continuity references and fan wang and moans at everything. And he nicknamed them. He said, "I call them the Ming Mongs," and now it's been sort of appropriated by people in fandom. So I describe myself as a Ming Mong. I wasn't a Ming Mong during the Russell T Davies era. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. You know, I mean, obviously quibbles about certain things, but for the most part, I was a real fan of that. I am starting to feel like I'm a little bit of a Ming Mong because I watched a lot of the Moffatian era episodes, and I'm just like. It's, you know, fine, it's well made bit of television, but for me, it really isn't satisfying me. I just don't feel as, like, you know, desperate to get to Saturday as I used to be. I feel, you know, desperate to get to Saturday because I want a day off from work, but I don't feel desperate to get to Saturday because Doctor Who's on, and that's a shame. On the other hand, I have not enjoyed being a fan more than in the last few months with bits of information coming out. This scandalous book about John Nathan Turner from the 80s, and I'm really enjoying that kind of interaction and speculating about the 50th anniversary. But the current series so far, like the last however many episodes and the Christmas special, fine, but not doing it for me, I'm afraid.
See, now what got me about the Saturday's episode was the overuse of certain things like the gravity-defying bike. What the hell was that all about? And why the fuck has he got it in his TARDIS?
Well, why not?
I mean, yeah, but why?
Why?
Why not? Why?
I'm just looking at a picture now for the Bells of St. John. Why is this guy in what looks like a gimp suit that looks like, you know, part reptile, part gimp suit?
You have to show me the picture. I can't. Oh no, that's not for the Bells of St.
No, that's
John.
for the next one.
That's called. No, that's
no.
No, that's for the Ice Warriors episode. That's
Oh
villain.
yeah.
Ah,
He's a Martian.
He's a Martian.
Martian.
That looks fucking awful for a Martian.
No, but
Sorry.
that's faithful to the original design, though.
It looks like it is from the 1960s.
Yeah, it is faithful to the original design. So
Yeah, Ice
I
Warriors.
am kind of looking forward to what's coming up, but Bells of St. John really just didn't do it for me, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I did try and it didn't do anything, and the only thing that did it for me was more Jenna.
Yeah, well, she's great, and
Yeah.
you know, the only way is up. I would say
Hey!
what I would say is, it was fine for what it did. I think it sort of was a good episode, but I'd already seen it.
It wasn't impressive enough.
Yeah, I'd already seen it. I would say that Celia Imrie was very much like the Sarah Lancashire character, a female villainess answering to a higher power. There was even in that episode there was a thing on a window cleaning going on the side of the building.
Yeah.
Then you got the 11th Doctor going up the side of a building again. You got a character that wanted to escape and see the universe, but was sort of trapped with a humdrum existence. Donna, Clara. It all seemed to be repeating itself. And I know in Doctor Who that there are no original stories and everything repeats itself to a degree, but it really did feel like this is a clone of that episode with the bit of the Idiot's Lantern thrown in as well. Instead of TV sucking people in, it was Wi-Fi. So that's how I feel. Will you be watching the 50th anniversary episode, Scott?
I will be, actually. I wouldn't mind watching that. I know I'm not like the biggest Doctor Who fan, and as much as you geeks, but at the end of the day, I'll be watching that. Yeah.
I just can't wait to see the Zygons again. I mean, the picture that came up of them is so faithful to the original design, just a bit more beefed up version. And I'm just hoping they do take centre stage.
They've announced it's going to be in 3D, which I don't really care about.
No,
it's
going
to have
a 3D TV.
limited theatrical release as well. But but I understand if it garners the programme more attention, it's a nice splash to make. But so very quickly, what would be on your wish list, Andy, for 50th anniversary?
Tom Baker.
Right. Okay.
I don't know how they're going to do Tom. This is the thing that I've always bizarred me, basically. You might be able to explain this to me, but obviously Tom Baker's now 70, 80 odd.
This
and
is the
they
bit
bring him back, and you think, how can you explain that scene?
See, now this is the bit that I keep thinking of.
Yeah.
Right? Star Trek Deep Space Nine, Trouble with Tribbles. They managed to go. I know the video quality is not quite the same, but they actually took the contemporary characters back to the past, and they had the old characters working around them. And I thought that was a bit of jiggery pokery. And I thought it was a brilliant idea, and just maybe it'd work.
I would point to something far more simple than that. In the they did a short little Children in Need scene where Peter Davison came back, written by Stephen Moffat.
I remember that.
And they made a joke about, you're looking a little bit thinner on top. Oh, that's because of me having two Time Lords in the same space, having two of us in the same space, shorted out the time differential. Just
something like that.
Some wibbly wobbly, timey wimey,
just pretty much cliche Doctor Who crap.
Yeah,
we'll just stick it in there and just say something.
Yeah.
Make a line. So, like, the time vortex could be spewing out, and anyone exposed to it. So the Fourth Doctor is at the centre of the at the eye of the storm, so he gets exposed to it more, and he's aged more than any of the other Doctors.
I'll buy that. But for me, the one I'd like to see is Paul McGann. The TV movie itself was appalling. It was shocking, set in America. But I don't know why. Paul McGann's always had a little place in my heart for Doctor Who. Plus, he only got the one performance.
And this is just a rumour, and who knows if they were planning to mainly do 3 Doctors with only sort of clips or whatever for the other Doctors. If Eccleston's not available, as it looks he might be, because he's been very coy about it and said he's not involved in all interviews. If he's not involved, get McGann in there instead. It doesn't matter. It's going to get huge viewing figures anyway. It doesn't matter if the general audience is like, who is that? McGann's 53, which is only a few years older than Eccleston, who's 48
he still looks the age, though. That's
you
the
look
thing
at
with
Luther,
McGann,
apart from a bit of hairstyle difference.
Yeah, and also no one knows when the 8th Doctor regenerated, so he could have.
Yeah.
So there we go. We want Paul McGann back.
Yes.
Are you listening, Moffat?
Probably not.
No.
Because no fucker listens to this show.
No.
Why
no.
do we even sit here and record this show,
knowing
that we only have 2 listeners, and one of them's my mum?
Yeah.
Seriously, I feel bad now after some of the stuff I say. If it'd been his mum, I'd feel even worse.
So basically, we can
You got the joking.
So basically, we can say whatever we want about Doctor Who without worrying about getting erased from Doctor Who history. Some of you who
Well,
post on Galpro Base got that.
Well, we did mention a Levine thing, didn't we? Not so long ago. But
John Hurt's been noted for news for the Doctor Who 50th anniversary.
John Hurt?
Lincoln School John Hurt will star in Doctor Who's anniversary episode.
Yeah, John. Oh, sorry.
Warwick Davis as well. Warwick Davis has been mooted, hasn't he?
Yeah, John Hurt is actually going to be the 12th Doctor.
That'd be brilliant.
Do you know, I'd love that actually. I think they should go back to an older character.
73.
Just before we continue, basically, if there's one person that you could have sit by your bed and read you a bedtime story, who would it be?
Tom Baker. It's going to be Tom Baker.
Tom Baker.
Oh yeah. No, actually, Gemma Chan.
You won't be falling asleep,
No,
though.
won't be, no.
You'll be just staring at her, basically. She's just like, can I go home? No.
Read me a story.
Yeah. And she's like, have you got a preference? Yeah. Take out one of your seedy magazines and just read some of the columns and articles for me.
Read my column.
I'd say James Earl Jones.
Actually, that's not a bad choice. But I think he would shit me up though, basically. You know, he sat in the dark, just blending in.
This is the story of Goldilocks and the Three Bears.
But for me, yeah, John.
Who's been sitting in my chair?
Oh God!
But for me, yeah, John. Well, that's the reason why I brought it up because John Hurt. For some reason, I've always thought to myself, I'd like him to sit next to my bed and read me a bedtime story. He'd put me to sleep. You know, I'd softly just drift away. You know, and he'd just do it so gently.
You never know. Maybe time travels back to the 1960s, and then he's actually playing Quentin Crisp.
Sorry, I've been rewatching old episodes of the Avengers recently.
Yeah.
I mean, really old ones. And I've been thinking back because there was a particular episode with the actor who played Jason King.
Oh, wait a second. We need to mention that basically this isn't the Avengers, the Marvel.
No, this is the proper The Avengers. And there was a character in it played by the guy who played Jason King.
Peter
Wingard. Oh my God! Thinking back on the 60s. And he plays an aged actor in it as well, which is quite funny. And he really hams it up as well. If anyone wants to watch the original Avengers series, please go and watch this Peel and Steer. It's got.
Has anyone ever heard a Peter Wingard album? The Peter Wingard released an album, and this is like we're talking about. You know, this is a massive detective. We're talking about like Lewis or Frost, massive TV detective, like household name. He released an album called Golden Throats, and where it was him talking to music. And I was looking for the lyrics, but I don't think anyone has been brave enough to transcribe them.
But is he as good as William Shatner?
Oh, it's something different. Well, on Golden Throats, the most popular and well-known of all of his songs is one called Rape, where basically it starts with him with an little orchestral suite while he shouts rape, 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 rape. Then he goes through a series of different impressions and tells you about all the different rapes around the world. It's sort of around the world in 80 rapes, and it's like in France the women are more seedy and rape is hardly ever necessary, and it is utterly repugnant and just really, really weird.
I think I want to go out and buy this album now.
So, have we got anything else to say, guys?
I've run out.
No, not this week.
Well, I have been Philip.
Raped.
by Peter Wingard.
And I'm about to go off on a CD sex session with Gemma Chan.
Oh, that sounds interesting.
It does,
I don't want to get involved with that. But,
no, you don't.
But,
Arching
I don't even want to see